Hello, everyone. On today's podcast episode, I'm going to talk about the opposite of a sun. The opposite of our sun is a black hole. You know, many physicists believe that if a black hole absorbs all mass, right? It means, including light, it means there should be a white hole somewhere where all the objects are spewed out, all energy is spewed out. What they don't get is there is no white hole. And they've been looking for white holes all over the universe. There should, if there's a black hole, there should be a wormhole, and then there should be a white hole, right? Where all the energy of the universe spills out. But the truth is, the black hole does spill out energy. We just can't see it. Just as light spills out, how the sun works is mass enters the sun, goes through a process of nuclear fusion, right? And then turns into massless energy. It turns into light, right? And then light escapes the sun. That's exactly what's happening inside a black hole. A black hole does exactly what light does, but it does the equal and opposite. Black hole sucks in mass, right? And then spills out dark matter, dark energy. The reason why you can't find a white hole anywhere is because a white hole does not exist. Scientists have been looking for the source of dark matter for a long time, dark energy, dark matter. Because we can't see these, we can't measure these forces. We assume that, they've all existed from the very beginning of the universe. But following the laws of duality, right? If you follow the laws of duality, it states that when an object is, as gravity pulls an object, gravity is also pushing objects away. It means that as the black hole pulls mass towards it, it must also be spitting out energy outside of it, just like the sun. The sun pulls, mass towards it, right? And then spews out what? Spews out light or energy, electromagnetic radiation. A black hole does the same, but instead of spilling out light, instead of spilling out electromagnetic radiation, it spills out dark matter. It spills out dark energy. It spills out, the equal and opposite of light, dark energy, dark electromagnetic radiation. Isn't that cool? Because if you follow the laws of duality, it states that if an object is pulling, both states exist simultaneously as one. Meaning, if gravity is pulling something, gravity must also be pushing something as well. And you can see it in the sun. Like I talked about in my previous episode, right? My previous episode, I said that, gravity isn't pulling us towards the sun. It's the equal and opposite. Energy goes from places of high concentration to low concentration. It's just a fact. Energy goes from places of high concentration to low concentration, right? The entire universe, all space is filled with mass. Even the vacuum of space is still filled with mass. Earth has mass. Space is around Earth. The space around Earth also has mass, right? Do you know what doesn't have mass? The center of the sun. The center of the sun is filled with massless energy. Because the center of the sun is filled with massless energy, right? Gravity falls, everything that has mass falls towards the center of the sun. Because that's the only, space where there's a high concentration of no mass. Because there's a high concentration of massless energy within the center of the sun. All the space around us, right? All the mass around us tends to what? Will fall towards that center where there's no mass. Because energy, high concentration of energy, places with high concentration of energy always flow towards places of low concentration of energy. And at the very center of the sun the center of the sun is filled with, low concentration of energy, low concentration of mass. The center of the sun is filled with low concentration of mass. Isn't that cool? The center of the sun is filled with low concentration of mass, massless energy. That's why all the mass around it is pulled towards it. So gravity isn't really a thing. It's just energy going from high concentration places to low concentration places. That's what gravity is. Gravity isn't a real force. It is just heat transfer. That's all gravity is. Heat transfer. And heat goes from places of high concentration to places of low concentration. And the equal and opposite is happening at the center of the sun, right? Because it's filled with a bunch of massless energy. That massless energy is a high concentration. There's a high concentration of massless energy at the center of the sun. And energy tends to go from what? Places of high concentration to low concentration. So the center of the sun is filled with a bunch of massless energy. So that massless energy will want to do what? Escape the center of the sun and radiate outward. So while the sun is pulling mass towards it, the sun is pushing massless energy away from it. You see? That's why light can escape the sun while objects go towards the sun at the same time. The two equal and opposite forces exist simultaneously as one. Gravity not only pulls things towards the sun, it is also pulling light away from the sun at the same time, simultaneously. Gravity pulls, mass towards the sun and pulls massless energy away from the sun. That's how the sun works. Massless energy escapes the sun. It goes from a place of high concentration of high concentration of massless energy to a place of low concentration of massless energy. The space around the sun has low concentration of massless energy, and the further you are away from the sun, the less massless energy exists. So massless energy flows away from the center of the sun towards outer space, while mass flows from outer space towards the center of the sun, where a bunch of massless energy exists. So the sun is a vacuum. The center of the sun acts like a vacuum of space. A vacuum of space that pulls mass towards it. While the space around the sun acts like a vacuum that pulls massless energy away from the sun. And the same thing is happening with the black hole. But the difference between a black hole and the sun is that the energy that's pulled away from the sun, right? The electromagnetic energy, the electromagnetic radiation that's pulled away from the sun was created using matter, right? Some form of fusion, some form of nuclear fusion is happening within the center of a black hole that's converting matter into dark matter. The reason why we can't see the center of the black hole is because it's filled with dark matter. We can't see dark matters. We can't see the center of the black hole. We can't see a black hole. We can't see dark matter, right? We can't see dark energy. We can't see the center of a black hole. Don't you find it weird that they both share the same qualities? Don't you find it coincidental that a black hole and dark matter share the same qualities? They can't be seen. Do you know why a black hole can't be seen? Logic, if you follow the logic of duality, it says that when something is being pulled, the equal and opposite must also be happening at the same time. It means because a black hole pulls mass towards it, right? Pulls energy towards it. It must also be releasing energy at the same time, just like the sun. The sun pulls mass towards it and releases massless energy or electromagnetic radiation. It releases the electromagnetic radiation while pulling mass towards it. A black hole should function exactly the same way. This is why you don't see a white hole anywhere, is because the black hole is also releasing energy. We just can't see the energy because it's dark matter. It's dark energy. A black hole releases dark energy, dark electromagnetic radiation. It sucks in matter and light and converts it into dark energy, and then releases dark energy and pushes it away. So a dark hole works just like just like the sun. It works exactly like the sun, except instead of converting matter into massless energy, right? It converts all energy, including matter, including, massless energy, into dark energy, into dark matter. So while a black hole is, while, everything with mass, everything with matter is pulled towards the center of the center of a black hole, there's some sort of energy fusion, occurring within the black hole that's pushing antimatter or dark matter away from the center of the black hole. The reason why we don't see anything escaping the black hole is because we can't see dark matter. We can't see dark energy. Yet dark energy exists in the universe. All this dark energy must come from somewhere, right? In the past, physicists believed that, it was black holes that formed at the very beginning of the universe that created all the dark energy. Without realizing that these very black holes could actually be creating dark energy right now. Matter enters a black hole and comes out as dark matter, dark energy. So, if you're someone who's pretty curious, this is just, theoretical, but there's a high chance it's possible because we can't see a black, many people think there should be a white hole somewhere, but we can't see a white hole, Many people believe that a black hole sucks in energy and spews it out in a different part of the universe. But that can't be possible because the law of duality, which governs the world, this is a world of duality. As a world of duality, where two opposite forces exist simultaneously as one. For example, light. Light exists as a particle and a wave at the same time. These two equal and opposite forces exist simultaneously as one. So, when objects are pulled towards the sun, objects must also be pulled away from the sun, and we can see it. The sun itself is a testament, a proof of this theory. As mass is being pulled towards the sun, massless energy or light is being pulled away from the sun at the same time. As gravity pulls objects towards the sun, gravity is also pulling light away from the sun simultaneously. The equal and opposite of what is happening to objects with mass is happening to energy, to light. Gravity is pulling energy away from the sun. While gravity pulls mass towards the sun, gravity pulls energy away from the sun simultaneously. So the same thing should be happening, in a black hole. And since we can't see energy being pulled away from the black hole, right? It means the only energy that can pull, energy has to be coming away from the black hole. It's just a fact. A black hole must release its energy. It can't just absorb energy infinitely. it must release its energy. If you follow this law, it states that, as energy is pulled towards the center of the black hole, energy must also be removed from the center of the black hole as well. And since we can't see the energy being released, it obviously means it is dark energy. Dark electromagnetic radiations are being pushed away from the black hole. So a black hole is actually a sun, a dark energy sun. It is the equal and opposite of our regular sun. Our regular sun is a sun of matter. It pulls objects with matter towards it. It pulls matter towards it and then releases energy, massless or matterless energy. A dark hole does the same thing. It pulls matter towards it and releases dark matter. And there's a high chance this is exactly what's going on, because the law of duality, the theory of duality, states that the equal and opposite, always exist simultaneously as one. For a black hole to be pulling energy towards it, it must also be releasing energy as well. And since we can't see the energy is being released, it's likely dark matter that is being released from a black hole. A black hole releases dark matter, dark energy. It releases electromagnetic radiation, but it's the dark version. The sun releases light. A black hole releases dark light. It releases dark electromagnetic energy. The center of the dark hole of a black hole is filled with massless energy. And just like a sun, right? Just like the sun, energy goes from places of high concentration to low concentration. Mass goes from, objects with mass go from places of high concentration of mass to low concentration of mass. The center of the sun has the lowest concentration of mass possible, because that's where massless energy is created. Massless energy, exists at the center of the sun. So there's no mass at the center of the sun. Because there's no mass at the center of the sun, mass tends to pull, mass will be pulled towards the center of the sun. And since there's less massless energy in space than mass, although space is a vacuum, it's still filled with mass. There's still particles, within the, there's still energy within the vacuum of space. And that energy contains mass. So space is filled with mass, and the center of the sun doesn't have any mass. So what do you think will happen? Naturally, everything will fall towards the center of the sun, where no mass exists, creating even more nuclear fusion, creating even more massless energy that gets pushed away from the sun. So two things are happening in the sun. Mass enters the sun, converts into massless energy, and massless energy is pushed away from the sun. Just like heat radiates from a fire, heat radiates from the sun because the sun is very hot, yet space is very cold. Likewise, the equal and opposite is happening with mass. Space is filled with a lot of mass. The center of the sun has no mass. So space, so all the matters in space will gravitate towards the center of the sun. That includes planets as well. All the matter in space, including planets, will gravitate towards a place with less matter. The vacuum that exists within the center of the sun does not have matter whatsoever. So it functions like a vacuum that just sucks things towards it, just like a black hole. The sun is a black hole, but it's a black hole of matter. It's a black hole that we can see. While a black hole is the sun, It's a dark matter sun. It's a sun that produces nuclear fusion, that converts matter into dark matter. So if you're someone who exists, from our point of view, right, the sun, we can see the light coming from the sun, right? The reason why we can see the sun is because we can see the energy coming from the sun. That's exactly what's happening with dark matter as well. If we exist in a world of dark matter, that a black hole will not appear to be a black hole, but will appear to be to look just like the sun. A black hole is actually another sun. It just functions in the equal and opposite way. The sun converts matter into energy, into massless energy. A black hole converts matter into dark matter, and then spews out dark matter into the universe. Which is pretty cool. So do not see a black hole like a sun that does exactly what the sun does, but it does it using dark energy. It spews out it swallows mass, it swallows matter, and spews out dark energy, in return. And this dark energy, then falls into space where there's less dark energy. And that's how the world keeps, that's why the world keeps having more and more dark energy. Matter converts to dark energy through a black hole. That's why we can't see a black hole, because that's where we can't see a black hole because that's where a high concentration of dark matter exists. The black hole is where matter exists, dark matter. So there is no wormhole. Many scientists believe that because it's impossible. It's very hard to imagine a black hole sucking in energy infinitely. Since a black hole can't suck in energy infinitely, it must be releasing it somewhere, right? So they started believing that there must be a white hole somewhere in a different part of the universe where a black hole releases its energy. Right? That's what they believe. There'll be a black hole, and then there'll be a wormhole that connects a black hole and a white hole. Right? But yet they can't find a white hole anywhere in the universe. But it doesn't make sense for black holes to just suck in energy infinitely. It doesn't make any logical sense. And that's a fact. But if you follow the laws of duality, the equal and opposite exist simultaneously as one. For example, a magnet has a positive end and a negative end, right? The negative end of a magnet is only negative relative to the positive end of a magnet, right? If you take another magnet that's more negative than the negative end of one magnet, right? That negative end of a magnet becomes positive. And then, and the other magnet becomes negative. Meaning a magnet has both negative and positive forces simultaneously at the same time. A magnet is both positive and negative at the same time. If you cut a magnet in half, you'll still have a positive and a negative end. Positivity and negativity exist simultaneously as one. So that's exactly what's happening with the black hole as well. As objects are pulled towards a black hole, as matter is pulled towards a black hole, dark matter is pushed away from the black hole. A black hole converts. There's a high chance a black hole converts. That's where matter is converted to dark matter. Just like the sun converts mass into massless energy, right? A black hole converts matter into dark matter and pushes it away from the black hole. We can't sense the energy coming from a black hole because we can't sense dark matter. Scientists cannot detect that dark matter. We just know it exists. So from my point of view, a black hole, just sucks in energy, just sucks in matter. Since we can't see, the energy being radiated out of the black hole, we used to assume the black hole is just sucking in energy infinitely. It's not. Both states, if something is pulling something, it's also pushing something. For example, when you tie a rope around a tree, right? And you pull on that rope, the rope is also pulling on you at the same time. While you pull on the rope is pulling on you. That's exactly what's happening to the sun as well. The two opposite forces exist simultaneously as one. While gravity is pulling, while the black hole is pulling energy towards matter towards itself, it must also be releasing energy. It has to be releasing energy. While it's taking in energy, just like the sun, it must also release that energy simultaneously at the same time. And since we can't see the energy is being released, then it's probably likely, there's a high chance it's releasing dark energy, dark electromagnetic radiations. The sun releases electromagnetic radiation. A black hole releases dark electromagnetic radiation. The two, a black hole and the sun are equal and opposites. The sun is the white hole. Scientists are looking for white holes. The sun is a white hole. It releases light. It sucks in mass and releases light. And the black hole sucks in matter and releases antimatter. You may say light isn't matter, but light was created through matter. When matter enters the sun, it turns into what? It turns into light. So light is a property, of mass, of matter. Since light is a property of matter, it also follows, it follows the same traits as matter as well. We can see matter. We can see light. We can touch matter. We can touch light. We can feel matter. We can feel light. So light is a property of what? Matter itself. A dark hole sucks in matter. And since light is a property of matter, it sucks in light as well. So light is just a smaller version, a massless version of matter. So it sucks in light and all matter and releases dark energy and dark light. It releases dark light into the world, and that dark light turns into dark matter and dark energy. So that's it for today's podcast episode. The reason why scientists can never find a white hole anywhere is because they're wrong about, there's a high chance probably a 90%, even 100% chance they're wrong about a black hole. A black hole doesn't just take in energy infinitely, because the laws of duality states that when an object is being pulled, the object is pulling you as well. When you lay on the ground and you pull yourself up, when you push yourself, against the earth is pushing you as well, right? When you do push-ups and you push against the earth is also pushing against you. Likewise, when the black hole absorbs mass, it must also be releasing mass as well. When the black hole absorbs energy, it must also be releasing energy as well at the same time. The reason why scientists can't see that energy is because it's dark energy. And scientists cannot measure dark matter. We cannot measure or see dark matter. So we keep assuming the black hole just stores in energy infinitely. It doesn't. It's releasing energy just like the sun is releasing energy. But because, it's dark energy, we don't see it. Because we don't see it, we just keep making assumptions that it's storing energy infinitely. It doesn't. It must release the energy it stores. Just like the sun releases, all the mass energy, it takes in as massless energy. A black hole releases all the mass it takes in, all the matter it takes in as dark electromagnetic radiations. So we may all be, being bombarded by electromagnetic radiations, not just from the sun, but from a black hole. But a black hole passes through matter. That's why we can't detect, dark electromagnetic radiations, because they don't, matter and antimatter, matter and dark matter do not interact in any way. A black hole always releases energy. We just can't see it because it's dark energy. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.